Today is Saturday, June 14th, 2025. This is the 250th birthday of the U.S. Army. Now, some of you may think that I forgot about this. I should have done this video and posted it earlier today. I have a good reason why I didn't. And that's because I was doing Overwatch on an Antifa protest that was being done in a small town out in the country, not too far from my homestead. And I wasn't the only militiaman that was in gray man overwatching these protests, ready to go at a moment's notice if things went sideways. And I'll get more into that most likely tomorrow in an after action review of what I seen and what events happened today. But let's get into the important subject for this day. More important than a bunch of stinky leftists out protesting and crying that they didn't win an election. 1/4 of a millennium ago, on June 14th, 1775, the Continental Congress officially authorized the raising of riflemen for service in the fledgling Continental Army, which would later be known as the U.S. Army. This is the Army's birthday, officially, by act of Congress. Even though many could argue that the U.S. Army actually began on April 19th, 1775, but officially, according to Army historians, it's today, 250 years ago. Today's a day when many of us who served in the U.S. Army, we celebrated. I just got done watching the events in Washington, D.C. for the celebration. And I will not lie, it did bring tears to my eyes a few times. Remembering the things that I had gone through serving in the military, the good times and the bad times. Serving this country. Willing to put my life on the line and if need be, give my life for the preservation of the U.S. Constitution and the freedoms it recognizes and codifies. And I would not trade any of that. All those years I served, I wouldn't trade any of it. Not the worst I went through, not the best I went through, for even a single moment longer in my life. And if I were to go back 30 some years, find myself in the same position I was back then, fresh out of high school, a member of a military family who'd served this country proudly since we came here from Germany, I would still raise my right hand and take an oath and serve this country. Even if I knew at that moment all the things that would happen afterwards, the good and the bad, and the lies that were told to us to send us to war, I would still do it again. And I got a feeling the vast majority of us who took that oath would do it again. And I will point out that many of us are more than willing to put our boots back on, lace them up, pick up a rifle, and go serve one more time. Now what you see down there in the images are two very iconic images in the history of the U.S. Army. General Washington at Valley Forge. The time when the Army was faltering, almost fell apart, starving, cold, feet bloody because of not having proper socks or footwear, having to trudge through the snow in the hopes of finding a scrap of food somewhere or a few sticks that could be burned to stay warm. The Army almost fell apart that winter, but it didn't. They endured the privations, and they came through at the other end of that winter stronger than when they went into it. More driven, more dedicated. Down here is the greatest ad campaign in history. That campaign brought in millions upon millions of recruits into the U.S. military. That ad campaign is so successful that the Army is trying to copy it today, with questionable results on if it will be even half as successful as it was originally. We'll find out. But today, for all my fellow Army veterans, I will say thank you for your service, brothers and sisters. It wasn't for nothing. And if called upon, I know we will stand beside each other again in service of this country. And I want to say to the U.S. Army, happy birthday. And may you enjoy another 250 years of service to this great nation. Now, for all my engineer brothers in the Patriot and militia movements, always remember Essayons.